13 Hypocrites Unmasked After Princess Diana's Death. The tragic death of Princess Diana in 1997 shocked the world. As the outpouring of grief swept across Britain and beyond, some reacted in surprising and contradictory ways. In this video, we'll uncover 13 hypocrites whose words and actions after Princess Diana's death were remarkably at odds with their public personas. From members of the royal family to world leaders to celebrities, we'll reveal the two-faced behavior of high-profile individuals following the princess's untimely passing. Number 1. Paparazzi and Media Outlets. The paparazzi photographers and media outlets that had hounded Princess Diana throughout her adult life were accused of rank hypocrisy in the aftermath of her tragic death. Despite having played a direct role in the reckless pursuit and invasive surveillance that was widely blamed for causing the fatal car crash, these same media figures and organizations feigned public shock and grief. They downplayed or ignored their accountability for creating dangerous conditions and instead shifted blame solely onto the driver, Henry Paul. For years, the paparazzi had engaged in high-speed chases, stalking, humiliation, and constant harassment that deprived Princess Diana of any semblance of privacy or safety. Yet, after contributing directly to the climate that resulted in her death, they then dared to act mournfully over the loss of a woman they had never respected in life. Number 2. Talk show hosts. Following the tragic death of Princess Diana, certain talk show hosts faced accusations of exploiting the event for higher ratings. Critics pointed to the sensationalized discussions and interviews that lacked empathy and genuine concern for Diana's legacy. These hosts were alleged to prioritize ratings over ethical considerations, choosing sensational headlines, exaggerated claims, and speculative theories to attract viewers. The interviews were criticized for their insensitivity, delving into intrusive or irrelevant topics instead of offering a platform for genuine reflection or tribute. Additionally, some hosts were accused of neglecting Princess Diana's legacy and failing to recognize her humanitarian efforts and charitable work. Critics argued that these hosts disregarded the solemnity of the occasion, treating a deeply personal and tragic event as mere fodder for entertainment. Number 3. Politicians. Various politicians and world leaders who had previously been indifferent or even critical towards Princess Diana during her lifetime were accused of hypocritically exploiting her death for publicity and good PR. Prime Minister Tony Blair called Princess Diana the people's princess and publicly mourned her despite having maintained a business-like relationship with her while she was alive. Even President Clinton joined the outpouring of grief, despite being unsupportive of Princess Diana when she visited the White House during marital difficulties years earlier. For politicians who had treated Princess Diana as a problematic figure or failed to show her support when she needed it, their post-death eulogies rang hollow to those who felt they were mere political opportunism. Number 4. Celebrities. Princess Diana had counted a few celebrities among her close friends and supporters during periods when she faced public scorn over marital turmoil and other difficulties. But immediately after her death, many entertainers rushed to publicly grieve her loss. Singers like Elton John, who had not spoken to Princess Diana in over a year, suddenly claimed close relationships with her in the media. Film stars like Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman also expressed devastation and were photographed crying, despite having no known personal connection to Princess Diana. The bandwagon of celebrity mourners struck some as hypocritical, and images of their grief were mocked as superficial and disingenuous. Many believed a few celebrities mourning Princess Diana had bothered to support her when she was alive and could have used friends. Number 5. Film and television producers. In the aftermath of Princess Diana's tragic death, some filmmakers and television producers faced accusations of exploiting the event for commercial gain. The entertainment industry has a history of capitalizing on real-life tragedies, and Diana's death was no exception. The accusations revolved around the creation of documentaries, movies, or TV shows that were perceived as sensationalizing the events surrounding the tragedy, potentially prioritizing entertainment value over respectful and empathetic storytelling. Biographical films and dramatizations depicting Princess Diana's life and the events leading up to her death faced scrutiny for potentially dramatizing and fictionalizing aspects of her story. Accusations were made against filmmakers who seemed more interested in creating a compelling narrative for box office success rather than respecting the real-life impact of the tragedy. Number 6. Fashion designers and brands. Princess Diana had an innately glamorous style, which she accentuated by wearing bold designer creations by Versace, Chanel, Dior, and others. However, while Princess Diana was enormously beneficial to fashion brands, thanks to the global exposure she gave their designs, many were wary of too publicly aligning themselves with her while she lived. This was owing to fears of stoking controversy by associating too closely with a woman still viewed as scandalous by segments of the British establishment. After Princess Diana's death, though, these same fashion labels queued up to talk of her timeless elegance and retroactively claimed the late princess as a beloved brand muse and inspiration. Even fashion houses like Chanel, whose advanced styles and logo Princess Diana shunned in favor of more modern creations, rushed to posthumously associate themselves with her. For only daring to celebrate Princess Diana's impact on fashion after she died rather than when she could have used the support, critics blasted these labels as hypocritical opportunists seeking to capitalize on tragedy for PR purposes. Number 7. Royal watchers and biographers. As veteran journalists and authors who had built their entire careers chronicling the lives of the British monarchy, royal watchers like Dickie Arbiter and Ingrid Seward had complex relationships with Princess Diana, marked by both sympathy and skepticism. When Princess Diana first married King Charles, these royal experts celebrated her youth and fresh energy as a wonderful addition to the stuffy House of Windsor. But as marital troubles erupted in public view, some were critical of Princess Diana's missteps in allegedly leaking damaging stories to the press and waging an image war against King Charles. Respected biographer Andrew Morton, known for his firm but fair approach, penned an explosive 1992 book alleging Princess Diana's mental health struggles and eating disorders, claims viewed as embarrassing and damaging at the time. After Princess Diana's shocking death, however, people like Morton conspicuously revised their previously balanced takes to cast her in a far more saintly, heroic light. Dickie Arbiter, who had worked for Buckingham Palace handling press during Princess Diana's scandals, was remarkably more vocal in praising Princess Diana's unique talents and compassion after her death compared to his more cautious statements when she lived. Other veteran royal experts like Ingrid Seward, who had covered Princess Diana for years, also put forth narratives emphasizing her profound humanity in almost reverential terms. Their conspicuously whitewashed perspectives casting Princess Diana as a blameless victim post-death seemed designed to capitalize on public mourning versus offering nuanced, historically grounded analysis. Number 8. Former friends. In the aftermath of her tragic passing, some of Princess Diana's former friends and confidants faced immense criticism for hypocritically betraying her privacy by sharing intimate details about her with media outlets. Princess Diana trusted certain friends like Rosa Monckton and James Colthurst with very personal information about her bulimia, depression, and crumbling marriage during periods of difficulty. She believed these painful struggles would remain private. However, after Princess Diana's death, several formerly close friends began selectively leaking sensitive information and anecdotes that breached her privacy under the guise of memorializing her. For instance, Colthurst provided secret tape recordings of Princess Diana opening up about her misery to author Andrew Morton for his biography. Her former friend Simone Simmons wrote a tell-all book in 2004 called Diana, the Last Word, violating Princess Diana's confidence. For those who Princess Diana had relied upon for discretion to hypocritically expose her secrets for fame and money after her death, many saw it as the ultimate betrayal. Number 9. Charity heads. Respected charity heads and humanitarian organization leaders had always held Princess Diana's philanthropic work in high regard. However, some avoided close alignment with her causes while she was alive due to fears of harming their reputations by associating too strongly with a woman still considered controversial. After her death, though, charity heads lined up to praise Princess Diana's profound compassion and dedication to worthy issues like the HIV/AIDS awareness and banning of landmines. Organizational leaders like Mary Robinson of Global Leaders Council and Zaki Ahmed of South Africa's Nkosi Johnson Foundation spoke glowingly of Princess Diana's integrity and expressed regret that they hadn't partnered more substantially when Princess Diana was alive to support her efforts. Their revised perspective struck some as hypocritical opportunism to cement their brand's links to Princess Diana after the fact. Number 10. Queen Elizabeth. As the royal family matriarch at the time, Queen Elizabeth had a notoriously strained relationship with her daughter-in-law, Princess Diana. The late Queen Elizabeth disapproved of Princess Diana's public disclosures about her eating disorders, depression, and the breakdown of her marriage to King Charles, then the Prince of Wales. Such candid revelations were seen as damaging to the monarch's preferred image of discretion and decorum. According to royal insiders, the late Queen Elizabeth also harbored resentment towards Princess Diana for eclipsing other royal women in popularity and media attention. Accustomed to being the chief female figurehead of Britain's royal family, the elderly late Queen Elizabeth saw Princess Diana as an upstart rival, threatening her cherished traditional role and values. So when Princess Diana died suddenly in 1997, the Queen's reaction was remarkably low-key compared to the rest of the grieving royal family. While King Charles flew to accompany Princess Diana's casket, the late Queen Elizabeth remained curiously silent and absent from public mourning. For nearly a week after Princess Diana's shocking death, the late Queen Elizabeth made no symbolic public gesture of respect, condolence, or acknowledgement of the tragedy. Her chilly detachment stood in jarring contrast to the global outpouring of grief over losing the beloved princess. For waiting days before lowering flags or making any statement about her daughter-in-law's terrible death, Queen Elizabeth faced harsh criticism for hypocrisy and insensitivity. Her delayed reaction was decreed as appallingly cold-hearted by observers who found it inconceivable that the reigning monarch would not immediately honor such a monumental loss. Number 11. Conspiracy theorists. In the late 1990s, the sudden death of Princess Diana became irresistible fodder for outlandish conspiracy theories, contending she was murdered by nefarious forces. Despite showing little prior interest in Princess Diana's life, prominent conspiracy promoters like David Icke now brazenly claimed she had been assassinated by British intelligence, the royal family, or global power brokers. These baseless assertions spawned profitable books, films, websites, and speaking engagements for conspiracy personalities who had previously fixated on the JFK assassination, moon landing, and other staple controversies. For die-hard conspiracy fans, Princess Diana's demise conveniently became the new de facto crime of the century to be falsely linked to their usual web of grandiose mythologies. Yet, before August 1997, few of these professional conspiracists had ever shown any meaningful interest in Princess Diana as a person. She was irrelevant to their narratives until her shocking death made her a useful pawn for stirring fresh uproar. Though the media lapped up their sensational claims as expert opinions, these theorists showed no authentic concern for Princess Diana throughout her very public life. Their shameless post-mortem exploitation of her death to create content driving follower counts and profits was thus widely decreed as gross hypocrisy. The crocodile tears they shed on camera over losing Princess Diana could not disguise the cold opportunism that drove their efforts to ruthlessly co-opt her tragedy to serve their deceitful agendas. Number 12. Corporate sponsors. During her public life, Princess Diana had been approached by numerous companies hoping to associate their brands with the glamorous princess through sponsorship deals and associations. However, some corporations kept their distance, wary of tying their brands to a woman still seen as scandalous and controversial by segments of the establishment. This attitude shifted dramatically after Princess Diana's shocking death in 1997. With a global outpouring of grief casting Princess Diana in a profoundly sympathetic light, companies rushed to connect their brands to her posthumously. Advertising campaigns tried evoking Princess Diana's image with slogans about compassion or cherishing family. British retailer Marks & Spencer, which had not worked substantially with Princess Diana while she lived, incorporated footage of her in a holiday ad to make it seem as if she had been a supporter. Other companies also featured Princess Diana's likeness in ads without permission, sparking objections from the royal family. For only embracing Princess Diana as a brand ambassador after she died, when her reputation was untouchable, these crass corporate efforts were denounced as hypocritical. Critics accused companies of exploiting Princess Diana's memory for PR purposes after shunning involvement with her controversial causes while she lived. Number 13. Religious leaders. The global mourning over Princess Diana's sudden death in 1997 saw an outpouring of memorial services and tributes from religious leaders of various faiths. However, some of these expressions faced criticism as hypocritical for their notable contrast with how Princess Diana had been treated while alive. During her tumultuous marriage and controversial activism, Princess Diana did not receive robust public support from prominent clerics. The Archbishop of Canterbury gave only mealy-mouthed encouragement during her marital strife. The Catholic Church maintained distance, troubled by her activism and divorce. Critics said she was denied the strength faith leaders might have provided. Yet, after her shocking demise, these same religious institutions rushed to offer public prayers, memorials, and condolences. The Dean of Westminster took charge of her funeral. The Archbishop spoke at her service, lamenting a lost chance to provide care. Even the Pope offered supportive words after her death. For religious figures who had not truly celebrated Princess Diana's humanity while she lived to suddenly act reverently mournful when it was too late, their inconsistency sparked charges of hypocrisy. That concludes this video unmasking 13 hypocrites after Princess Diana's tragic death. It's astounding to see how many people showed their true colors by exploiting her death for money and fame. Of all the hypocrites exposed here, who do you think was the worst one and why? Did I miss any other hypocrites you noticed after Princess Diana's passing? What stood out to you the most from the ones I mentioned? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I hope you found this video informative. If you did, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more content like this. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, bye!